There have been unending rumors regarding Rahm Emanuel, the former failed mayor of Chicago, possibly serving in Biden's cabinet. And that has led to quite a bit of backlash for good reason. Now there's chatter about him possibly serving in a less visible role in Biden's administration, as if we're all morons and we can't figure out that Biden is working with Rahm Emanuel. But let me give you the details. This all came about through a tweet by Crain Chicago, where they wrote, following progressive backlash against reports that Rahm Emanuel was being considered for transportation secretary, Joe Biden may now be considering the former Chicago mayor for the somewhat less visible position of US trade representative, which is actually an incredibly important position. And I don't know what it means to refer to that position as less visible, but people are actually paying attention to politics. Like it almost seems as if media organizations are totally unaware that we're like not in like the 1970s. Like people have the internet, they read the news, they read about politics, and they know what's going on. So I'm pretty sure that that position, if he is named as a US trade representative, would be very visible, especially to people who are engaging in the backlash following any rumor regarding Rahm Emanuel.
Yeah, so trade rep is arguably more important than transportation secretary. That is the position that allows corporations to write all of our trade bills. And so when they do that, we're already screwed. That becomes basically international law that we all have to abide by. So that doesn't just affect America, it affects all other countries. It's arguably one of the most important positions, but it's less visible. What is this, the 1930s or even the 70s where you can cover things up? We can all see, what are you guys, Donald Trump? Stealth fighter, you can't see it, it's amazing. You'll stand right next to it, you can't see it. Yeah, no, we can see it, idiot. It's not actually invisible. And the trade rep is also not invisible. We can see it clear as day. So it's an absurd idea. And now look, there's a theory that Rahm Emanuel is just leaking this on his own and just self-aggrandizing. If that's true, he should stop leaking, because all it's doing is enraging progressives and making them fight even more against Rahm Emanuel, thereby making him getting any position in this administration far less likely. So as usual, he doesn't know anything about politics. His idea of tough politics is immediate unilateral surrender to Republicans and attack progressives at 100% rate. And it's also possible, though, that the Biden team is leaking this so that at the end of the day, they could say, all right, fine. All right, we won't do Rahm Emanuel, but we'll make every other position super conservative. That's our compromise. No deal, no. And by the way, the third option, which might be the most likely option, is no, it's 100% real. And they'll put Rahm Emanuel in one of those positions and go, progressives, we don't need to reach out to you guys. We only need to reach out to Republicans. Remember the 7% of Republicans that didn't vote for Trump? They're the only people we care about. Progressives will just yell at you, break your back, and then yell at you again to go vote for us. You better be careful with that strategy. So right now, some progressives are happy about the crumbs on the table. So what are the crumbs? Janet Yellen, the former head of the Fed, a Treasury Secretary, because she doesn't think we should burn the planet down. John Kerry, for the same exact reason. Climate czar, he's not in favor of burning the planet down. John Kerry and Janet Yellen are very conservative, okay? And so those are crumbs. And I hear you, and people worked hard to get those crumbs. I'm not trying to minimize their work, and I appreciate them being thoughtful about all this. But so far, not a single progressive has been named, and almost everyone named has been either deeply conservative or, and look at that, a compromise, only 75% conservative. And now they're considering Rahm Emanuel. It's a hard no. And as Bernie Sanders explained, if you put Rahm Emanuel on there, it's basically spitting in our face. And so we'll see if Biden wants to spit in our face.
Everyone who's being named has already worked with Joe Biden, right? Like these are people that he's worked with throughout his entire career.
Honestly, guys, I'm gonna keep it super real here. This is the problem with access. So some folks got put on that transition committee, the unity committee, good, honest, wonderful progressive folks. But they were on that committee with John Kerry as an example. And so John Kerry, when you're talking to him, is he a perfectly pleasant guy? Of course he is, right? He's not a Republican, he's not gonna bite your head off, he's not a weirdo, right? He's smart, he's a decent person. And he genuinely does care about the climate. And so when you talk to him, you think, oh, that's a good guy, right? But his track record is very mediocre. And so does he have the fight in him to make sure that we get things passed? Well, the proof will be in the pudding, but the pudding's baked though. I mean, and we've seen John Kerry's entire career. It's not like he's a spring chicken. Oh, who's John Kerry? No, he ran for president. He was a senator for a long time. We know exactly who John Kerry is. He's generally pretty weak. And so will we go back in the Paris Accords? Of course we will. Is that good enough? Of course not. So look, guys, here I'll give you a marker for whether that work in being conciliatory with the establishment worked or not, or if it was successful or not. So Biden's plan for the environment is not that bad. It's not a Green New Deal, but it gets a good way of the way there, okay? So if he were to actually get that $2 trillion bill passed, it would create a lot of jobs and it'd be great for the environment. Then I give Yellen, Kerry, Biden, and everybody on the commission all the credit in the world, because I don't care how well you guys get along. All I care is, did you pass the bills or did you not pass the bills? If you don't pass the bills, you haven't changed anything at all. It was all a waste. That's my job to report the news to you guys. You know how much your life gets affected if they don't pass the bills? Zero. Who cares how well they get along? So, but it's okay to get along in the beginning and make good plans. So let's see how those plans turn out. But right now, what we've gotten is weak sauce. It's not interesting. And now, if the Republicans hold the Senate, I would be beyond shocked if Biden got that bill passed, because he doesn't know how to fight. Kerry doesn't know how to fight. They don't know how to break Republican kneecaps and make them vote in your direction. Instead, the minute they say no, they'll be like, oh, well, the Republicans said no, there's nothing we could do. That has been John Kerry 101 his entire career. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.